To vex a little bit while I burn a little bit. So we vexing and burning, chiefing with the chief. So we getting there. So about 3 more people come in. What's up? What's up? I'm glad you like the cut. My little brother, the truth. This a couple days old. You should have seen it when it was fresh. Woo. Then they're starting to get the stubble coming back, so I don't got the baby face right now. I got the 2 o'clock shadow. We gotta wait for it to get a little bit thicker to be a 5 o'clock shadow. It's an early in the day shadow. So a lot of the stuff going on around the land, it's the people. It ain't the system no more. If y'all want to know what the holdup is, it's the people. It's no longer the system. The corporate legal fiction is now a defunct corporation. They done. They gone. Only problem is we building this new government, and the people ain't really ready to let go of the stage show, the Joe Biden affair, the trumped up Trump situation. They love that shit. Gossip. That's what they're relying on, gossip now. Because all that political shit, low vibrational, low frequency energy exchange matches the same frequency as gossip. So while we waiting on the people, the Empress put out a call to clan mothers across the land, and they act like they're not getting a call to the right people. The whole thing is you got to know how to weed out the motherfucking weak. You got to weed out the weak. You got to weed out the scared. You got to weed out the ones who want it all for themselves in order for all of us to have something. We ain't in this for us. I ain't doing this shit for me. Empress ain't doing this for her. We doing this for the collective. I had my life. I ain't had to do nothing else. I could have went on about my business, but I had to come and tell y'all about y'all birthright, about y'all inheritance, about the usurpation of the rightful heirs. I had to tell y'all because I don't want to get to the other side after I leave this meat soup. I don't want to get to the other side and they say, why you ain't tell them motherfuckers? I've been telling them 5 years now. If they don't got it now, they not going to get it. It's a lot of motherfuckers that's not going to never get it. But this is a done deal. And the way you weed out motherfuckers is you let the public see who down with you. Who going to stick their motherfucking neck out with you when it's time to claim your shit back. Because them the motherfuckers that we got to get rid of first. So just because me or the Empress give a public announcement and do a public notice to the clans and to the government or whoever we do a public notice or a public announcement, we ain't doing that shit just to be giving a public notice or making a public announcement. It's purpose, cause, and deliberate intentions behind this. If y'all don't know about power dynamics, you ain't ready for this game. My man told me on Facebook yesterday. He said, this real life is like a jigsaw puzzle. My response, my mama pre-programmed me at an early age to put jigsaw puzzles together. I'm skilled in it. Been skilled in it since I was 2-3 years old. I've been putting jigsaw puzzles together. So I'm having no problem putting this puzzle together. I could go out and do anything I want, and I'm going to automatically be successful because it's in my nature. It's how I'm wired. I'm not going to go out here half-cocked, spewing shit out my head that I don't know what I'm talking about. I know sometimes the person that know what they talking about to the person that's never heard it before, they sound like they mentally unstable or that's some far-fetched shit. But when you go look behind it at the receipt and you be like, nah, that motherfucker know what he talking about. He know what the hell he talking about. So all this is strategic. Everything you see we do is strategic. It's all about seizing power, right? And you're going to have a whole bunch of motherfuckers going to come Johnny come lately with their hand all talking about, see, I was putting in the work too. No, when we called for your ass, you ain't show up. When we sent for you, you didn't show up. Farrakhan. When we sent for your motherfucking ass, you didn't show up. Talk all that liberation talk. Pound on your motherfucking chest. Let them motherfucking lions go, but show the fuck up. Or shut the fuck up. You either show up or shut up. I mean, we not finna be having motherfuckers talking us to death, because that's what I'm tired of doing, talking motherfuckers to death, proving the point, right, that I know what I'm talking about with receipts. If I come with any more receipts, the goddamn receipt machine gonna jam. I can't come with, any more receipts gonna jam the machine. So we watching this trumped up stage show, mirror flipping, what's going on with the redemption process, and we thinking about Trump. It ain't got nothing to do with him. He just a motherfucking pawn in the place to hold a position until the motherfucking time that the power is seized by the rightful heirs. You can sit there and you, okay, keep believing that Biden shit real. Look, Joseph Robinette Biden was executed and buried. Go look it up. He buried at Arlington National Cemetery. If you go to Arlington National Cemetery website, type in Joseph Robinette Biden and put that motherfucker birthday in there, it's gonna pop straight up. The only reason I know because I did it. So who is this person that they got pretending to be Biden? Who are these people? Because it ain't the same person all the time. Just like it's more than one Trump, it's about 7, 8 Bidens. Who is all these motherfuckers? Why do they need so many? Why they just can't keep using Jim Carrey or keep using James Woods? Right now it's leaking. I've been telling people this since 2019 that Joe Biden was being replaced and that they about to see an actor take on this play. They thought I was crazy. Then when I seen him, I said, that's Jim Carrey straight out of Mask. So when I went back to the Saturday Night Live skit and I seen that they made him up to look like Joe Biden, I said, damn, with a couple of computer tweaks, he'd be a dead ringer for that clown. Then when the CIA skin masks, y'all forgot about that, the CIA skin mask, where it looked just like you and you ain't even on location. It'll look just like you and you ain't nowhere around, but it looked like you. You can't leave motherfucker on camera no more because motherfucker shit gonna be coming out. The reason why they doing this, let me show y'all why they cutting it off at the pass. That's what they call it. When you go around, go all the way down to where they gotta go get water and you cut them off at the pass. You can't get to the water. This is what they doing with the skin mask and with the deep fake artificial intelligence stuff. They pre-programming everybody to say that this Epstein, that this frazzle drip video footage of Hillary snatching this baby face off, video footage of William Jefferson Clinton having sex with that little baby down there on Epstein Island. Now they gonna say, well, that might not even be him. That might be a nigga in the skin mask. They already creating a defense right now. They feeding it to us so that when we do see the video footage, because they're gonna have to show it sooner or later. That shit can only stay hidden for so long. But when they finally come out with the video footage, right? Now we done been so exposed and oversaturated with skin masks, deep fake and green screen technology, ain't nobody gonna even believe the shit real. Watch what happened with Diddy. Though all of them was motherfucking outtakes from a movie he was filming. Watch. Half of that shit deep fake. People ain't even really there. viable defense in the court of law by entertainment purposes. You got a right to conceal the making and the plot of a epic thriller before it's released. All he had to do was have that shit copyrighted under creative control, and all that shit is part of a movie and it's scripted, and they can't even prosecute him at that point because he's supposed to keep the movie script a secret according to the rules of Hollywood. But we don't keep track of that kind of stuff because we only concerned about our 9 to 5 day to day, take the kids to school, pick them up, give them a bath, put them to bed so I can go to bed so we can get up and do it all over a morning stage show running on the hamster wheel. That's what they got us doing. We don't have time to stop, look, listen, and see what's going on around us, so they keep us busy. Keep the inflation up, make you work yourself into a hole, trying to work yourself to freedom. Nobody in the history of the world ever worked their way to freedom. You know, it's not recorded nowhere. I haven't been able to find that anybody that was oppressed worked their way to freedom. The only way anybody oppressed in the history of the world ever got from under the oppressor is they overthrew that motherfucker, or another motherfucker came from somewhere else that didn't have nothing to do with it and just so happened to want something from there, and he deposed him, and then the people supported the new person to come in because they done things different. Y'all ain't paying attention. I can't tell everybody because everything I see, because it'll make a motherfucker really, really lose they become emotionally unhinged when you see this shit for what it is. Your emotions is your navigation system on planet Earth. When you not in physical form, you ain't got no emotions. What the fuck is that shit for? What purpose do it serve? If it's not to serve you the navigation and the communication between other humans, you don't have no cause or purpose for an emotion. So you pure information in your whole life body. You 100% data. All you is a bunch of binary code on a light wave frequency coming into the 3D realm, and now your emotions gonna dictate everything. When you supposed to read your emotions, you ain't supposed to let your emotions control you, and you give up the control to the emotion. That's like, I don't understand what all of this relationship drama about. The black woman don't want the black man. The black man don't want the black woman, and we can't find a good man. And now look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Don't believe me. Pay attention and check it out. The same women that complain about having a hard time getting a man, it's a sissy laying up under him. 98% of the time, it's a homotesticle laying up under him, telling her how to be a woman, and he a whole fucking man. And don't believe just because a motherfucker got a skirt on, because you see that now. They motherfucking doing picket signs so they can use the bathroom with the woman, just take all her privacy away. All these women that's having man problems is close comrades with some homosexuals and lesbians that's telling them to have problems with their man. They looking for shit for her to have a problem with her man. That's why they don't want them positive sister circles like the Goddess Glow Up teaching these women how to step into their femininity, because now you a threat to the homotesticle and to the lesbian. I don't got no problem with nobody living the life they choose to live. That's their life, right? My problem is the mass motherfucking media campaign to convert unsuspecting children and lure them into a lifestyle that they not already wired for. They convert them, just like they convert motherfuckers from Judaism to Christianity, from Christianity to Islam. They converting these children into homosexuality, motherfucking cross-dressing and crisscross dressing, gender confusion. All that is control mechanisms to subjugate the people. And we keep falling for it. I ain't falling for it because I see it for what it is. I tell a boy, you're going to grow up to be a man. I don't tell him you're going to grow up to be a it. You're going to grow up to be a man, and the best thing that you can be is a good man. Sometimes you gonna make mistakes, but you can't beat yourself up because you made a mistake. Because what damn one of us born with a handbook to say, here, you just came into this world. This is your rule book for your life in order for you to have your best life. We have to find it out and figure it out. Some of us figure it out, some of us don't. Some of us figure it out too late, and some of us just figure it out later. But at the end of the day, boys supposed to both grow up to be boys, girls supposed to grow up to be girls. And if you got a problem with me not accepting you for who you is, then you didn't accept yourself for who God made you. You don't have a debate with me. Your debate is with God, who made you the gender he made you. God made you the gender that you is, not me. I didn't have nothing to do with that. All I'm just telling you is, don't tell me that I can't accept you for who the hell you is, when all the time you didn't accept you for who you was created to be. You let the society and the derelicts of the world dictate the parameters of your life and the expression of your lifestyle, and you think that the lifestyle that you live in is normal. Ain't none of us living a normal life. A normal life is a farmer's life. A normal life is how farmers live. Farmers live a normal life. If you live in the city, no matter how big, how small, if you live in a city life, you're not living a normal life. That's contrary to the nature of the species. Right? So the farmers is the only ones doing shit right. Maybe we ought to go and study them motherfuckers and find out how we can use some of that holistic stuff from the farm in the city to make the city become more holistic, so it can stop destroying all of the people that go into the city. You got to be a bad mofo to offend that. Look. A long time ago, they wrote it on a piece of paper. At the close of the age, that we was going to see everything we seeing now. I'm tired of pointing it out because it's like it's falling on deaf ears, and the people not really getting what they supposed to be getting because they not understanding the message and the lesson. I'm to the point now where it is nothing else that I can do. I ran its course, right? Proof. I'm not even trying to prove nothing no more. I already proved the point 100 times over on each critical point. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. So all of them points have been proven hundreds of times over, and it still ain't enough. You got the conscious community that don't know, they think they scientists, but they don't know the simplest of science. Then you got the motherfucking so-called spiritual community. But when you start telling them how spirit really worked versus how they was told it worked, they get mad at you. Then they start disgracing your name. Then they start sending people to attack you. Then you got the Moors want us to believe we was all Moors when there was no time on earth where any one whole collective of tribes was called Moors. They was always a separate tribe unto themselves. They wasn't even called Moors at first. And it went through 100 names. You need 100 names when you're trying to hide who you is. When you ain't trying to hide who you is, you can say, I'm organic original to right here. That's all you need. That's your identity and your identification. But they want you to believe that all of us over here. Now, they tell us in the books. Now go back and read this in the history books. And this ain't for all of the Moors, just the ones that be on that bullshit. The dirty Moors is what we call them. Go back and look in the history books. All of the Europeans, including the ones that look like us that ain't us, wrote in their journals. They different tribes of people. They got a common cultural thread. They all good, kind-hearted, caring, loving people. That's all of them wrote that. Okay, now the problem is If they already know we all tribed up. We tribed up when they come. They wrote it in their journals we was tribed up. They gave the tribes different names because they couldn't pronounce the shit that the natives was talking because they was talking the native tongue. Since they couldn't pronounce it, they just ascribed you a name called an exonym. So then they labeled, category, and grouped people together under classifications to enforce a caste system predicated upon some doctrine called white supremacy that some Negropeans wrote over in Europe and brought it over here as a war strategy. And we fell for it. So when you look back and you say, okay, this brother then came, only person probably got more receipts than him is Malachi York. Farrakhan don't got more receipts than me. He got more lectures and instructional videos than I do, but he don't got more receipts. Even Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey had a hell of a collection of writings, but he wasn't ironing out the confusion of the history. He was ironing out the prospect of the confusion of the future so that the ones in the future can figure out how to iron the problem out in their present. Right? Same with Du Bois. Y'all think because Du Bois was Red House and Garvey was Blue House and they told us they was beefing that they was beefing. That's your Biggie, Tupac, East Coast, West Coast beef. Come on now. Your mainland islander beef. They telling you they beefing, but how in the hell is both of them attributed for being the father of Pan-Africanism? That don't make sense to me. Depending on, so it's two schools of Pan-Africanist thought. One is the Garveyites, and the other ones is from Du Bois. Du Bois tied back to Frantz Fanon and the French Moors who was trying to break the stronghold. Garvey traced back to the islanders. He's a Jamaican, original Jamaican, right? And so he come from down there because he didn't master the Blue House. He's the court guard. He need to go to war, but he can't go to war because we trapped in a war country. So he can't go to war. He got to educate us out of it. So what'd he do? Start putting out newspapers like 90 Going North. He started writing books. He started writing all kind of message to the people for Marcus Garvey. That's one of the coldest books I ever read for us. Then Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. He went on a lecture campaign to teach. He did all this stuff well, in the future, one of these motherfuckers going to have enough sense to say, oh, wait, he ain't telling us to literally go back to Africa. He's saying communicate with the motherfuckers over there. And the African going to tell you, you know African? You know, your people know from Africa? Well, where the fuck we from? Mississippi Delta, clay dirt walking, ruddy red, right? Then they gave these Hebrew Israelites, right? And these are militant, staunchly militant brothers with that patriarchal agenda subjugating the women. If that's what they choose to do and the women agree with it, I don't have nothing to say about that part. But I got something to say about this part. They keep calling pale faces Edomite. Edomite means from the earth. It tells you that right in the book. And we formed him from the dust of the earth. Therefore we called his name Adama. Edom. The ruddy red one. That Mississippi clay dirt walking Negro. But we ain't gonna pick that up. See, they gonna keep calling the pale face Edomites, and then they gonna keep referring to they self as some Hebrews, Israelites, right? This is what they teach. The Hebrew Israelites, they got the nation of Israel. You got your Hebrew Israelites, and you got the ones that used to be under Yahweh ben Yahweh, but he gone now. Then you got the ones under Ben-Ami Carter. You know, all of these Negroes teaching this shit don't even know what the fuck they talking about, and they standing on that shit like they standing on business. The only thing is the book that say business, it read Book of Lies. Say Bible stand for basic instructions before leaving earth. I think it means basic instructions about lying to everyone. Cause they didn't master that. 5%ers, they straight. They did the tribal, they followed the tribal mandate from the land to when Clarence 13 next set that up. It was for the chiefs that chief. Nation of Islam wasn't for them. This is why he had to set up the nations of gods and earth, because you got tobacco chiefs. You not every time they come in the physical form, they're looking for tobacco. You got marijuana chiefs, right? Where you get the term chiefing from. And you every time they come back, they gonna use the 420 for the late night flight in order to walk in the dream realm, in order to see what's going on in the physical realm. And then it's going to tie them into the collective of all of the chiefs that ever lived to draw information from historical records of mental reservoir into the present, what we call reading the Akasha. Even that shit, Akasha. Ka-sha. Sha is shoe. The A and the I is a definite article in the ancient tongue, like the word the. And Ka means the body. Shu is the sacred wind or the sacred spirit. And Shu and Tefnut is been replaced with Shu and men in order to have a homosexual frequency resonating. Which I don't have no problem with them people doing what they want to do on their own terms. Just don't be forced. I don't think straight people need to be forcing sex on kids. When the child come and start asking you about sex, then it's time to teach them about sex. But if the child's trying to play with his Tonka toys and the girl's trying to play with her Barbie dolls, you don't need to be talking to them about no damn sex. That ain't on their mind. If you plant that seed too early, that motherfucker gonna hatch early. The girls that grow up not thinking about sex till they teen years, they don't normally lose their virginity till they in their 20s. But the ones that get talked about sex all the time in first grade, second grade, and they getting saturated with that shit, they gonna be a motherfucking teenage mama. They gonna want to know what the hell is these people talking about and how do you do it? I'm gonna find somebody to show me. And it ain't gonna be hard to find somebody to show her, because the little boys have been taught the same thing, so they running around like little horn dogs. So the parents and the grandparents and the uncles and the auntie have been systematically removed from the influence of the child. They've systematically replaced the familial influence over children, and they put it in the hands of what they call celebrities, artificial stellar alignments, artificial star systems. They not the real stars. The real stars is that hard-working mom and pops who acted out for 65 years, got 45 great grandkids, and all of their kids great grandparents now too. So them the ones that's the real star that held that family together with the bullshit we going through. Look, they got people so selfish now. The selfishness on earth right now in the chapter of misery has never been so high. This is the most selfish motherfuckers that ever been in the history of the planet. And I remember past lives like I remember this one. And I'm telling y'all now, this selfishness right now is this is a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior that spread across humanity like a forest fire. Jealousy is contagious, and jealousy is a mental defect and a mental disorder. They used to call it dementia praecox, and it was a form of schizophrenia. But they wanted to see if they can replicate the teaching of jealousy, and it works. It works. You see the kids teaching the other kids how to be jealous in church. What they do? The good girl go to her auntie and, can I hold my little cousin? And then she take her around and show all her little friends her little cousin, right? And then the little baby see one and reach for him, and what she do? Pull him back. Pull him back, right? What that's doing? It's programming jealousy. It's teaching them to differentiate the value in people and to disregard your inner desire to connect with people based on what another motherfucker is telling you. But the child don't know what they doing because it was done with them when they was a baby. So they just repeating the cycle. These motherfuckers threw that shit like an alley-oop straight into our communities because they knew how communal we was. They knew how our children played amongst each other, and they started then instilling jealousy, hatred, mistrust, all that shit they was instilling into them to turn them on each other. Teaching the ones to break peace, gossiping motherfuckers. My man, I heard of I posted this on my in my story last week, but my man was doing a rap. And this motherfucker started out with the hardest lines I ever heard. This motherfucker said, I'm tired of gossiping bitches and bitch ass niggas that gossip like bitches. I was like, oh man, he just confirmed everything I felt in one little sentence. Sick of these motherfuckers. Sick 'em. So, yeah. But the people now waking up faster than they ever have, but it ain't fast enough for this shit to be over. We running out of time. This celebration is coming up too fast for us to be functional during it. We're going to be doing construction and celebrating at the same time. We supposed to did the construction this year. Somebody somewhere dragging their feet. That ain't me. It ain't Empress Rarebird. It's all these other motherfucking niggas that's going to want a piece of the pie that's dragging their feet. And when we tell them motherfuckers get to the end of the line and we'll consider you, they gonna feel like they've been, oh, these motherfuckers. No. When you had the opportunity to use your resources and your platform for the collective to move on this shit, y'all was dragging y'all feet. So we dragging our feet on getting you your shit. Hope you can make it. The fee I did. What you gonna do? Right? So, nursery rhymes was to teach children how to read what they call rhythmic code. The nursery rhymes of today is called rap music. And the messages that come through the music tell you more accurate information than the news reporter on the 6 o'clock news about the environment that you in. It's determining whether you can if you can pick the code up. All of the rappers been telling us shit over the years. Even the ones that we call trash, right? The rappers that we didn't want to hear because we didn't like what they was talking about. They telling you something. Lil Nas X is telling you something. Young Thug is telling you something. 2 Chainz, Titty Boy is telling you something. Are y'all listening and are y'all reading or are y'all just skimming through shit? Jay-Z was telling y'all something. No, he wasn't a conscious rapper, but he was still telling you some conscious shit you need to know for fucking around in the streets. Jeezy was telling you something. Lil Wayne was telling you something. Weezy F baby, mean Weezy fucking baby. Come on now, they telling you shit about the people around them in their music, but can you hear it? Right? I wish Birdman would pull up on me to about put some respect on my name. I will put some respect on this motherfucking right. I can't stand him. Because he's a whole buck breaker. He's a whole buck breaker. He get these little boys from the hood, promising them record deals and forcing them to some sexual shit. And it got nothing to do with music. Unless he making a music video about some freaky shit. But then he would, look, these niggas is rotten to the motherfucking core. They rotten to the core, and they want us, the ones that gotta suffer for they fucking dirt, to not say nothing. Bitch ass nigga, I'm saying something. Right? You think that shit, that Diddy shit ain't new? That Diddy shit ain't new. All they did was try to shuffle the ball, a flea flicker. Right? They accusing Diddy of the same shit they accused Epstein of. And the same shit that look, on Epstein Island, y'all not need to know the history. They got black and white 35 millimeter film of motherfuckers back in the motherfucking silent film era doing the same dirt that they got these other motherfuckers doing on telephone camera now. This is not new. Ever since Hollywood been established, you needed a way to control your hottest talent so you can milk them for everything they're worth. If you can't control them, then you blackball them. Listen, you remember it was a guy played on Welcome Back, Kotter. I don't remember his name, but one of y'all gonna remember his name. In Welcome Back, Kotter, he was Freddie Boom Boom Washington. Right? He was the fastest and hottest rising one of us. I don't even know what to call us no more. These niggas are so fucked up. But he couldn't get a role. I was like, what did this motherfucker do where he can't get a role? Coming to find out, they wouldn't give him a part in anything. He couldn't even get a commercial because he wouldn't fuck babies. He wouldn't molest them kids on set. He didn't go to their child abuse parties. Yep, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. That's his name. He couldn't get a role until they came with the VH1 special. And Michael Jackson said, the only way I'll sign off if y'all let him play Joe. If he don't play Joe, I'm not going to sign off on the Jackson's right to do the VH1 special. So they cast him as Joe Jackson in the Jackson series. Why did they do that? Go back. Back in the early 90s, I think it was like 91, before Michael ever waged war on Hollywood. When he decided to wage war, he was doing a VH1 or either an MTV Music Award. Most of us not going to remember this, but some of us old enough was in their 20s around this time. They going to remember exactly what I'm talking about. Michael Jackson, at the end of his performance, had these huge turbine fans blowing his shirt to the back. And he stood up on the stage and did something called the T-pose. And all of these kids came running out, grabbing Mike around the legs. That's when Michael Jackson was telling us, I'm about to sacrifice myself for these kids. The next thing that happened after that, it wasn't no sex thing. They was accusing him of nefarious business deals for buying the Beatles catalog from under Paul McCartney, and they was trying to wage war on him in the courts to get the 52% of Sony that he worked them out of through contracts. when he executed the contract, he had control and interest. He had control and interest. And having control and interest, he owned the company. Now they trying to take Sony from him. This is way back in 91, 92. I used to be listening to the contract reports of Michael Jackson, and I used to be like, that's something, he's smart because he keep asking for percentages of Sony. Every time he signed a contract, he asking for percentages of Sony. Each contract is executed separately because they signed separate one from the other. They're not a continuation of the original negotiation. But so these pieces that Sony is signing off. Now remember, Mike is at this time, Thriller is, they catch the record companies using other artists' label, relabeling the albums with the other artist's label so that all of the record sales from Thriller can stop going straight to Michael Jackson's credit. Now they selling Thriller under John Mellencamp album or Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen. So now they using other record sales, attributing Michael Jackson Thriller sales to other artists that's not even on the same label off of the way that they are barcoding the labels on Michael Jackson's records. He was the first artist they was doing that to, and then they started doing it to hip-hop artists. Right? So they couldn't get him they couldn't make him unown what he owned because he used the same shit they used on the sharecroppers by putting little clauses in the contracts that allowed them to subvert the land from the sharecropper. Once you know what they doing, you can play so they thinking they getting over on Mike, and Mike leveraging them out of Sony. All he need is controlling interest. And he got it. Now, around this time is when Prince realized that Warner Brothers is rediverting his money and undermining his success, and he goes to war with him in the courts. They want his unpublished catalog more than they want the stuff that he got out. So they was willing to give him all of his albums that he produced and put out, but they didn't want to budge on the unpublished material because they believe that his unpublished material in his demise is going to be able to give new Prince albums for the next 150 years. And that's a long time to make money off a motherfucker after they gone. Of that magnitude. You steady getting a new Prince album for 150 years every couple of years. Double album here, triple album there. Right? But because of the contracts, they was doing all this stuff to artists, is which brings about Tupac, Biggie, East Coast, West Coast, bring down the music industry from the inside out by exposing the elites in the dirt that they do and how they getting it done and who's supporting that shit. So that's how it worked. That's the name of the game. But now we over here, like I'm telling y'all the shit that I see, but the shit don't click sometimes for weeks. And the motherfucker be like, damn. Did he mean when he said, that's exactly what the fuck I meant? It didn't click. It's like right now, it sounds like I'm just having a coherent discussion, but it's shit that y'all missing in this discussion already. Yeah. So somebody reported on X that Mike said he'd be back about June the 10th. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but they posted it. I didn't post it. I got it. I was going to do some posts, but my Instagram been shadow banning me and blocking my shit. But he said June the 10th. June, this week right here supposed to be the heat up. I don't know what's about to happen. I can tell you this. You got on the 3rd, you got a planetary alignment, right? And you're going to be able to see it from Earth. Now, I want y'all to think about that. So what is the position of Earth in relation to the planets to see all of the planets in a straight line? And that, the immortal words of Dr. Umar, don't that sound suspicious? Ain't that suspicious? That's suspicious. Right? Yep, Dave Davis, Michael Jackson. I went over all that stuff years ago in the video when I was decoding Michael Jackson. The whole Obama is Rosemary's Baby, the Demon Seed, Damien, the Omen 1, 2, 3. That's all the Obama story. They was telling you who the boy was while he was growing up, and he ain't even know yet. They cloned Akhenaten as part of the Nazis' Third Reich cloning program. They wanted a god that they could control. So they wanted one that they thought could pull rank on King Tut. So they say the only person that could pull rank on him and he might go along with it be his daddy. So they cloned Akhenaten and produced this motherfucker Barry Sotoro. Right? And that's why he don't have a birth certificate. And that's why Trump was making all that stink about his birth certificate and offered to pay $1 million to anybody who could produce his birth certificate. And notice nobody ever collected that money, but they produced a birth certificate. And the lady who produced the birth certificate mysteriously ended up dead. And I forgot, I think she had a plane crash in the Pacific or some shit, or Atlantic or some shit they said. No, in the Pacific. She was supposed to be leaving Hawaii. There's some old Clinton-esque Hillary Clinton fingerprint type assassination that you make you like, wait a minute, that don't sound right. Right? Because she was on her way to go testify about the birth certificate that was on file. And so they had the CIA was it's a video floating around. Y'all need to check it out about the birth certificate. Because the CIA agent who was assigned to validate the birth certificate invalidated the fucking birth certificate. And make sense. You go hire somebody to validate something and they show you the whole fraud of why they can't validate it. Yeah. I'm going to go look for that video and I'm going to post it in my story. So be watching my story. I'm going to find that video where the CIA agent, remember, if America elect a president that was not born in America, it's the death of the country. That's called an active insurrection. A hostile overthrow of the government, a coup d'etat. If they don't have a birth certificate saying Barack Obama was born in a hospital over here and he was born in the Philippines, or he was born in a laboratory in Amsterdam or Germany or wherever they cloned his ass at, if he don't have a birth certificate from over here, that's how long America been dead. That's why Trump was making the big deal about the birth certificate. Yeah. I don't know. They probably is butchering this signal because I'm on one today. I'm just dragging all in the dirty lines y'all out. Yep. I got TikTok, but I can't. I'm only one person. I be moving like it's a whole crew, but it's just me. So I try to stay where people can find me the easiest and try to stay in as few locations as possible when I do my lives. So they know where I'm at. Right? So I make me easy to find, right? And people sharing the clips on TikTok, so the information is getting out over there, right? when I do my lives, I'm right here. That's where I'm at. And then the people know exactly where Rod Hayes do his live. He right, okay, that's where he at. Right? So we go through roller coaster rides, never knowing that each one of the dips in the roller coaster, it's not gonna do nothing to you. All it's gonna do is tickle your stomach. Come on now. We're going over this roller coaster. We acting like all of these dips is new. It's none of this new. Ain't nothing new under the sun. We done did all this before in a different way. Any kind of directive that you could, this is the only way we haven't done it yet, the way we doing it now, and that's why we doing it this way. So that now all timelines is complete because we move to the singularity once all timelines is complete. It's the breaking of the code. Right? Oh yeah, I ain't got no problem with telling it like it is. I can't be politically correct because the politics ain't correct, so fuck them. Yeah. But people don't see the dirt being done to them by the people that they hold in esteem as authority figures. They only see the dirt that's done to them by people that they classify as an equal. If they classify you as a superior, you go into this psychological programming that tells you, oh, I must have did something to deserve it. But if you dealing with an equal, you will fight that motherfucker tooth and nail about what you call disrespecting you. But that's that God gene, that Anunnaki God gene bullshit. Hold people in reverence because they got all these trinkets. That's how Machiavelli knew how to play you. You got all these goddamn trinkets and shit on your jacket like you really doing something. Them pop bottle caps, motherfucker. That's all they equivalent to me is a pop bottle cap. And then you got these sewed on stripes making you look like you really important. And you got a real neat, tight suit, high and tight haircut. You got on your Marine, Army, Navy, Air Force cap, and you think that because you in uniform that we don't know that your uniform system is to deceive us into believing that you got superior authority over us and we the original ones and with the original jurisdiction. And the first jurisdiction to right is always the standing jurisdiction when it's called. That's what it is. The first jurisdiction, the first claim of right is always the superior jurisdiction when it's called to the forefront. This is why you had to know the contract 100 years ago when nationality was the order of the day. Nationality is no longer the order of the day. That's expired as of July the 4th, 2019. The order of the day is sovereignty. Step into your power and execute the motherfucking legal fiction so that we can proceed on with humanity living like humans instead of like motherfucking paupers. This poverty shit, ain't nobody on earth supposed to be in poverty. They created that shit, right? Because of the chapter of misery, you got to have somebody that's strong enough to stay on the bottom, right? They got to be strong enough to stay on the bottom for an extended period of time so they won't wake the fuck up and change shit. They won't exercise first jurisdiction to right, the first jurisdiction to claim, the sovereign position of authority, right? If you don't know what all this stuff I'm talking about, you need to get back in the books because this is basic shit to me. But it ain't basic to regular people. I'm not regular. I'm high octane rocket fuel, super unleaded. I ain't regular. Nitrous oxides infused, literally. Right? So I'm going to take off and leave a motherfucker. But wait a minute, I got to come back around and scoop you back up. This is a time everybody been waiting for. They told in every doctrine on earth what it would look like, from your history teachers to your philosophy teachers to your religious teachers to your spiritual, there's one thing they all agree on. This shit over with. This shit over with because one of these little nappy head, raising head boys is going to pull their whole card and find out that they was holding the card ain't even the joker in the deck. It's the one with the little right. It ain't even a real card. Counterfeit cards. Right? And once we realize that they cards is counterfeit, shit, I'm taking my deck and going home. You play your game by yourself. Close that monopoly blocks up. You will never establish your plutarchy over me. Your plutocratic government. Like I don't know what the fuck y'all doing. I'm watching. I'm watching at every level of this chess game. I'm watching from the 19th dimension to the 2nd dimension. I mean, if it's written down, I'm looking at that. And if it's in the soul and the spirit, I'm looking at that too. And everything in the middle, I'm looking at all of it. So just because all of us don't remember that they smarter than me, and I'm probably the first one to remember, they gonna wake up to it if I keep talking this shit I'm talking. It's gonna make them step out and like, hold up. Bruh, right. Can't no motherfucker be that right. How is he this right? It got to be something to what he's saying. Right? This is all of these people is playing these games and we not seeing the game being played because they playing the game on us. We are victims of what we call a long white con. It's a drawn out story where the con artist plays key roles of the con in order to keep you duped for as long as possible. Right? And they call it larceny by conversion, while they conversing you into the larceny on your own birthright. But they tell you that if you go to one of them and do the same exact thing, you a criminal, but them doing it, they legit. Because they the government. A criminal's a fucking criminal. Whether it's the government is the criminal or whether it's the criminal. Criminal or criminal. The one who does not follow the law does not follow the law. I don't give a fuck if he in the hood or if he in motherfucking the Vatican, Buckingham Palace. I don't give a fuck if he in the military industrial complex. The one who does not follow the rules doesn't follow rules. Period. And that's how you create criminal. And that's how you create crime. You tell the people that you know not gonna follow that shit to follow it, and then you attach a penalty to it and lock their ass up. We ain't need prisons before they came. All of a sudden they everywhere. Why we had to have a whole prison boom in the 80s crack era, and George Bush and Ronald Reagan, Oliver North, and I forgot the other dude name, Butt White, whatever the fuck his name is, Stickleblocker. He got an old funny name like that. But anyway, they got caught red-handed bringing the the cocaine from the source of production into the country. They got caught. Go look at the Iran-Contra. And they got caught. Now, they lock all these brothers up on drug-related charges. If all of them would have knew that their co-defendant was the government, they would have all walked. The government can't create a crime, run an ongoing criminal enterprise to lure you into the criminal enterprise in order to charge you with a crime and lock your ass up. It say it in their books. I didn't write it. They wrote it. They wrote it down because the only way to keep honor among thieves is they got to write that shit down because they not going to keep to the same story. You can go back from when I started to now. I'm telling the same story. I'm just giving more details as the years roll on with more and more receipts. But I've been dropping receipts since the word go. Right? Look. These people doing all kind of shit with the social media. They blocking people from liking my post. They blocking people from commenting on my post. Mm-hmm. They interfering with the sound quality, the picture quality. They doing all that. But you know what? They can't shut me the fuck up. I ain't gonna shut up. No, I'm only gonna shut up under two conditions. I get tired and see that it ain't going nowhere. And the other one is, we done. That's the only two things can shut me up. I'm tired of telling people the same shit over and over again. I've been tired, and I'm not finna do like Taj. I'm not finna be telling the motherfucker the same thing for 25 years. 5 years is long enough for me. If they don't get it by now, they probably won't get it. And so I'm winding down on my limits of continuously preaching that if you really want to step into your power, we can take this shit back. But then all of the ones that we need to render the aid and assistance, we put the call out. I already know who gonna move and who not, when they gonna move, how they gonna move. I'm watching them long enough to be able to know their behavior and their behavioral patterns. So I ain't finna try to be kissing nobody ass. Empress not finna be kissing nobody ass either. And as her advisor, I'm gonna tell her, they want you to kiss their ass, fuck them. Tell them to jump off a long bridge with a short rope. That's what you tell them. Nope, ain't no ass kissing going on. And the reason why you invite motherfuckers to join in to the liberation call, so when you get liberated, the motherfuckers who didn't answer the call can stay where the fuck they at. That's all. It's not personal. Right? It's strictly business. It's just family business, and we take that shit personal amongst the family. So all parts of the family doing their part, but just because you doing your part, when it's time for you to step up and lock in like a transformer so we can form this whole motherfucking super bot, and you failing to bring your piece to the motherfucking table, you can stay where the fuck you at. We'll find a new piece. Right? It's the sad part about it is we the ones with the birthright. And we got people that don't look like us that's pushing us harder to recover our birthright because they sick of the bullshit more than us. Remember, we was willing to accept the bottom because we were strong enough to take it. Right? They didn't never want to, because in order to oppress a motherfucker, you got to stay down with them. You got to have somebody to hold that motherfucker down in order for him to stay down. And the motherfucker that's holding you down feel just as bad as the motherfucker that's sent them to hold you down, making you feel it. And then we get caught up in the emotions. It's the navigation system. You can't get out of it if you don't know how to read them. Emotional intelligence. What you think they come up with that shit for? You think that's some new shit? Emotional intelligence go all the way back to temple priests and motherfucking Kemet and Teotihuacan and motherfucking Indian Apple and what's it called, motherfucking Himalayas, right? They ain't talking about being a player for the Himalayas for no reason. A player in this game of life, from the Himalayas where the cave of the ancients is. We come forth and walk the land among the people because the Sun Wukong became the Hanuman who had to go to the west to recover the sacred scrolls. The 10 sacred scrolls is the 10 keys that they use to imprison you. Economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, and health. The 10 scrolls of wisdom are the Monkey King. And his journey to the west is to capture the 10 scrolls. The 10 scrolls of wisdom tells you how to effectively run a government without being oppressive to the people. It's the prince. It's the order of the prince. It's the law of nature being applied to the human arena. It's the wise ones in nature's job to come from the Himalayas and walk among the other players in order to see how they playing the game, in order to solve the problem of who's playing the game right and who playing it wrong. And now we know how to play the game the right way. We can all be winners because it's only one position, and that's the winner's circle. And we all got expressing itself from a different position. So I just so happen to be the pituitary gland in the Queen's chamber, waiting on this shit to be over. Look, I'm going to say this. They try to make us be colored folks, black folks, red folks, brown folks. They try to make us be niggas, Negroes, Negritos. They didn't classify us as motherfucking Moors and Cherokee and Choctaw and Chickasaw and gave us all the names they wanted us to have. Now we all got something to fight each other about. Which one is you? All the names they done gave us, you got a group of us that hold tight to that name. African American. Unapologetically African. Right? I'm a Pan-Africanist. Niggas be saying shit because it sound like they intelligent and the whole time they a whole goddamn buffoon. But a broke clock right 2 times out the day. You know, when you really realize our best bet, each one teach one until we reach enough to flip the critical mass. But it's so many of us don't know how to talk to their family because they ain't got no communication skills. We don't know what to do. There's no instructional manual for us to follow. So whenever we get enough energy behind us to push Malachi out, we writing that manual. What the fuck to do to become who you are. He can write it, I proofread it, or I'll write it, he proofread it, but that's going to be a joint project. How to become yourself. Because somebody taught you to be other than yourself. Hear Malcolm Action? Who told you that your lips was big, was ugly? Who told you that your nappy hair was ugly? Who told you that? And then why is they even telling you that in the first place when they should be telling you how the universe works instead of how you supposed to look to them? Xenophilia, xenophobia, the conflict of two foreigners' communication with a foreigner. One of them loved the foreigner, one of them hate the foreigner. The one that loved the foreigner, embraced the foreigner, bring him in and do business with the foreigner. But the other one who can't stand the foreigner want to kill him. 200 years later, the ones that brought the foreigners is the ones who couldn't stand them to begin with, want them all dead. But now the ones of us who found out how to live with these motherfuckers saying, what's the problem now? That was all your shit they was pushing. Now let them push this tribal shit. Let them go study out the manual of growth and development so they can follow the motherfucking rules and regulations of growth and development. Let them go sit at the feet of Angel Bay if they want to be a peace stone so they can learn how to stand up like a soldier and hold their post with a firm conviction. Understand what's going on. This shit is not a game, but it's still a game. It's serious, but it's still a game. And somewhere along the line, we gotta stop being judgmental and start looking for how to get power. Fuck who you don't like. Fuck who you don't like. Fuck who you like. The motherfucker you like more likely to do you dirt than the motherfucker you don't like. The motherfucker that you like is more liable to do you dirt than the motherfucker you like. You've been kissing this motherfucker ass and he been waiting on the chance to shit in your face. But the motherfucker who been being straight up with that you don't like ain't never did nothing to you. Warned you about that motherfucker whose ass you was kissing. Keep kissing his ass, he gonna shit in your face. But what you do? That's my brother. That's my sister. That's my mama. That's my cousin. Anybody teaching you hate is teaching you a self-defeated mentality. You can't run around carrying hate, because that locks your emotions where you can't clearly read how you supposed to respond to the person. You ain't supposed to respond off of a prejudice. You supposed to respond off of frequency. How do the presence of this motherfucker make you feel? I tell people in a minute, if I automatically don't like somebody, don't bring them back around me. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like this motherfucker. Don't bring him back over here. Ain't nothing personal, but your energy don't feel right to me. And I don't know what's up with you, but you can't come back over here. And I done it. And I will continue to do it. Right? So, when we out here trying to raise the consciousness and the minds of the people, once the consciousness grasps a hold of what I'm telling y'all, this shit is over. But Bobby Hemmings said it 20 years ago, this shit is over, but it never manifested. Something was wrong where it couldn't manifest. A new day couldn't manifest. Something was in error. Somebody had to come along and iron out that last wrinkle, that last error. Why is it not? Bobby was saying it 20 years ago, this shit is over. Man, this shit is over. He been saying it 20 years ago, but now here we is 20 years later, and we still saying it's over, but we ain't seeing the result for something is wrong. The only reason we ain't seeing the result because it ain't enough for us with the juice, with the birthright, with the blood right stepping up to the motherfucking mic. All of them trying to be entertainers and celebrities. I'm trying my best not to even be seen. But I still got to come out of my shell, defy my Scorpio nature of being a recluse, to teach on this social media shit, which I cannot stand. I hate social media with a passion when they was invented this shit. I never liked it, but it became a valuable resource because it was an untapped source of communication with our people across the land. No matter where they was at, this social media bullshit was gonna reach them. Look, I could go to Cali right now. I have a whole set of Vatos, motherfucking Bloods, Crips, all the motherfuckers that be coming to see and ask me questions and different things and show me love and show me respect because they've been listening to my lives. They know what's up. They know who I am, what I'm doing, and what it's about, but they can't help the motherfuckers on the East Coast. The motherfuckers in the Midwest know what I'm talking about. The Vice Lords know what I'm talking about, right? The Bloods, the GDs, BDs, they know what I'm talking about, but they can't explain it to the motherfuckers in Florida. They can't get it into the same depth. They know the 5%ers in New York. When they hear me and they listen and they hear me talk about putting Father God Allah and they hear me telling about why he had to do what he had to, they know what I'm talking about. They can't explain it to the motherfucking Hebrew Israelite niggas. They can't hear it. Cause I don't choose to acknowledge any God that got to kill off a nation of people in order for his nation to have somewhere to go. I don't subscribe to none of that bullshit there. If your God promised you a land in the future, he got you roaming the earth as a nomad, where's his motherfucking power? You were supposed to be organic to the land where he created you at. Why you ain't organic to the land? Where's you motherfuckers organic to? Right? I know I'm walking Mississippi clay dirt walking. I know where them motherfuckers in Africa come from. I know where the ones in India. Where is you motherfuckers from? Where? Where? Y'all just popped up in history out of no fucking where with a whole religion. Where y'all come from? If you don't know where you come from, you don't belong here. You gotta be from, y'all ain't from Australia. You ain't from South America. You ain't from North America. You ain't from Europe, but you monopolized the motherfucking European empires. You ain't from the Middle East, but you monopolized the whole Middle East empires. You control the whole Islamic world. You and your Christian counterparts who put that motherfucking Quran bullshit together. Y'all control all of these motherfuckers. Where the fuck did you come from? You telling us that we ain't from over here, the place that we was originally created from first creation, and you telling us we ain't from here, but we can't find where you motherfuckers is from. You can match my DNA to Mississippi clay dirt. It's gonna come out 99.9% match. This nigga Mississippi clay dirt walking. DNA said it and it ain't lying. Where your motherfucking DNA gonna take us to? Where you motherfuckers from? Why your God didn't create your world where you can have your own world instead of trying to steal somebody else's shit for you? Your God a bitch. That's some bitch ass shit. He gonna take somebody else's shit instead of creating your own shit that you supposed to been coming into creation with. He gonna come take our shit. But we ain't supposed to say nothing because y'all chosen by God. Your God is a bitch ass nigga. Look, I told him when I read the book of Job, you know, if that motherfucker would have did that shit in the hood, we'd have wet that motherfucker up. Look what this motherfucker do. And the children of God came to prostrate before the Lord, and also amongst them came the devil, Lucifer, Satan, whatever the fuck name they want to use for him. And God, in his infinite wisdom, said, Satan, what you doing? Oh, nothing. I'm just walking back and forth, to and from, up and down in the earth. You ain't got nothing to do? Nope. I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Can't find the soul of steel. I got one for ya. Have you considered my little buddy Job? Job's an upright man, boy. I bet you can't make that nigga fall. That's traitor ass shit in our face. Adam, the first rat on record, and this God in Job is the first godfather to betray a motherfucker in the open. We didn't even see it. That's traitor shit. Have you considered going over there and raping my concubine, nigga? That pussy good. That's traitor shit. It's traitorism. Are y'all reading what these motherfuckers is doing and saying in this book? Are y'all reading critically, or are y'all critically being read? Which one is it? Right? Are y'all analyzing this shit, or are y'all analyzing shit instead of what you read? I'm just saying. Something is amiss here. Right? Something, look, this guy told the devil, that's my boy Job. Go get him, boy. Sick him. Now, Job done went through the worst hell of his life. This nigga done got the blisters. He had the herpes. This nigga caught the syphilis and the herpes. And he done caught all kind of shit. He caught cancer. He done had kidney failure, liver failure, heart failure. But he won't curse the name of the Lord. And Satan over there like, damn, what kind of juice you put in this nigga? This is a super nigga here. I can't break this motherfucker, make him fold for nothing. All the time, God set him up. You go ask the preacher about God setting Job up. He say, oh, he was just testing him. I thought you said that motherfucker already knew everything. If he already knew everything, he don't got to test Job. He know what Job gonna do. That's called an arbitrary test. You're just taking it up on yourself to do some shit to prove a point. Just like this government take it up on themselves to write some shit in the book and tell you it's the law, and then come bust you upside your head with a flashlight, choke you out with a motherfucking flashlight chokehold, California, shoot you in the back because they said you was running away, you was fleeing and eluding, so they had the right to execute any nigga on sight, which was one of the tribesmen who was caught running, go warn the rest of the tribes that the goddamn British is coming, right? So while we warning the tribe the British coming, they shoot us in the back, killing us with a stranglehold, stomping us out in the street, but we ain't supposed to say nothing. These motherfuckers coming to the hood with flak vests on, motherfucking bulletproof vests, helmets, motherfucking tactical motherfucking jumpsuits, tactical boots, tactical motherfucking firearm holders. They got AKs, AR-15s, M16s, 45s, 44s, 357s. They got automatic, semi-automatic, revolvers. They got pumps. They got grenade launchers, bazookas. They driving mini tanks through the hood. But guess what? We ain't allowed to have none of that shit. And we don't know we in a police state. We don't know we in the police state. We in the whole fucking police state in the occupied land, and we think that this shit is normal just because it was going on when we was born. This shit not normal. This shit not normal. This is not right. It's not all wise, right, and exact. This shit is all foul, fucked up, and derelict. This is not all wise, right, and exact. This is totally the opposite of all wise, right, and exact. We in the occupied territory. Wake up. Soon as we wake up, look, I'm telling y'all now, if Rod Hayes tell y'all we marching somewhere, somebody getting they wig split, whether it's the president, the speaker of the house, the governor, the mayor, and I'm going to be the head buster. I'm not finna send that motherfucker to go do what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm going to tell you what, y'all keep the rest of the motherfuckers off my back while I go bust this motherfucker upside his head. I'm not finna send nobody on no dummy mission. Got me fucked up. Cult leader. You won't get me caught up in that bullshit. I seen that trick play already. That motherfucking pony done rolled away. So you reach out to these motherfuckers talking about they want liberation. They want equality. I don't want no motherfucking equality. I want my shit. My shit gonna establish where I'm at. I don't need to be equal to nobody. I don't need nobody trying to be equal to me. Everybody stay in your lane. We got a lane called a path, a life path. That's your lane. If you walk in your lane, I guarantee you, if you don't give too much of a fucks about the people just trying to swerve in your lane and bump some of the motherfuckers out your shit'll run smooth. We'll all be riding this motherfucker smooth together. There won't be no traffic jams, no backups. It won't be no motherfuckers on the shoulder or the road because we're going to help each other along the way. If we have to lock arms and drag the car behind us, it don't matter. We all in our lane. We know how to function. But when you got motherfuckers swerving, lane to lane and can't stay still and jumping around like a Mexican jumping bean in the middle of the road. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do. The government ain't supposed to have nothing to abuse the citizen that the citizen doesn't have to defend himself. The government is the rogues. They the ones who went off script. And y'all sitting here believing that this stage show they telling us is real, and this shit been over ever since the fake, because he never had a birth certificate because he wasn't born here. Oh, test tube ass baby. Hey, I just had a brain fart. My brain don't fart too often. But here's one. Try this one on for size. If Big Mike a man, what make y'all think Big Lil Barry ain't no girl? Because that's how they do it in Hollywood. In Hollywood, the person that got a dress in drag, they want a person that's look the opposite. So you got a drag king and a drag queen married, but all the time they living behind the scenes like regular people. Now that's some fucked up shit. Listen, it's too many real motherfuckers sitting in hard places doing hard times on some trumped up government shit. We need Big Meech to come back out and continuously teach these boys how to live with money, because we about to have a lot of it. He just got the knack for it. It's just how he wired. They listen and he gets their attention. He just got to figure out, because the dope game gonna be dead, because it's already dead. It's a setup as it is right now. So it ain't the dope game. That shit over with. But it's enough game in the game to get paper in other places. He had a chance to sit down and he can come out and get his money a different way. Right? But when you had no other option, you take the option given to you in order to reach the plateau you trying to reach, in order to have the effect you need to have. A chief can't control his territory from behind bars. I don't give a fuck who they is. Larry Hoover, Big Tukey, Angel Bay. You can't control your empire from behind bars, because the enemy is always listening. You can't cleanse the land that a motherfucker's bringing the dope in when you behind bars, because the motherfucker got you behind bars is the ones bringing the goddamn dope in. Come on now. Listen, all of the ones they told us was villains was the actual heroes. All of the heroes was the actual villains. Your founding fathers is the founding patriarchs of the patriarchal system that produced the patriots to undermine the matriots. That's why they call them founding fathers. But they can't none of them motherfuckers grow nothing. They got to come to us if they want to grow something, because they can't impregnate the land, meaning they can't plant good crop. They got to come to us. We all know. But we keep forgetting that we know. But knowledge alone by itself is worthless if you can't back it up with action. And this is where we at now. We need to see, we need to be able to enforce the jurisdictional supremacy. If you don't understand jurisdictional supremacy, you stuck. If you don't understand that the sovereign right trumps the national right, you stuck. If you don't realize that your independence is not the same as your sovereignty, you stuck. Right? Ain't nobody independent. You can get that bullshit out your head. Stop letting everybody tell y'all sisters to be independent women, and stop letting these motherfuckers tell these brothers that he can be a strong, powerful, independent man. We need teams. We pack animals. We pack animals. Look at our totems. Birds come in flocks. We pack animals. We humans, we come in packs. Motherfucking gorillas come in clans. Right? Cattle come in herds. We pack animals. The only difference is we supposed to be pack animals that think we need to build teams. But these stupid motherfuckers, they think that they the only ones with the right to establish the team. And they don't even have the greatest right. They just got a right. Right? The superiority comes in when the heir with the superior jurisdiction is standing on business, and now y'all fucked. If y'all don't tie into the vein, you're gonna be jammed up. It's a lot of mothers calling, but not the ones that's doing the work that we need. We need the ones doing the work. We could put the families together when we unify the sisters that's doing the work. But no, they all so busy. They like the preacher. They got their little piece of the pie. Fuck the congregation. Shit, as long as they keep me living high on the hog, I'm going to keep on telling them the same goddamn shit. Fuck that shit. We need some new shit. We need some new blood. We need some new air. We need some new earth. We need all this shit renewed, because the old shit don't work for us. It worked for you greedy, selfish, and self-centered motherfuckers that feel entitled to some shit, but your title to your entitlement about to be revoked. Right? I say all you motherfuckers wielding this artificial pseudo power, abusing and stealing and robbing the weak. your motherfucking ass gonna be held accountable by true power, and that's the power of the ever-living God of all. Big Mama don't play. And she appoints somebody to be her motherfucking number one on the planet at the time in order to solve the problem. The problem is solved. The only part of the problem that still remain is the ones who ain't looking at the equation on the board. Look your ass at the equation on the board. This shit over with, right? The equation on the board. You got to follow the steps. This all over. This all the stage show. It's a front. It's a fraud. It's a red herring. It's something used to distract you from the truth. Don't believe nothing they tell you and half of what you see, because now they got the technology to deceive not only your eyes, but your ears, your sense of taste, touch, and smell. It's an impossible motherfucking burger, right? You thought it was meat, but you're supposed to be vegan. Why would you even give a fuck? Because you can't leave what you was programmed to receive. You was programmed to eat meat. Now you want stuff that reminds you of the meat, so you can conclude that you eat meat while you in your vegan status, condemning all the meat eaters and never knowing that half that shit was flavored with meat byproducts. Because you can't make vegetables taste like meat without putting some meat in them. Why you think they use motherfucking ham hocks and neck bones and seasoned collard greens and corn and motherfucking peas, black-eyed peas? That's because they need the flavor from the meat in order to enhance the flavor in the vegetables. All these people, they done turn vegans into a whole cult, a vicious and vile cult for you carnivore, you carnivorous meat-eating motherfuckers. Like the plant don't got a life. They think they better than us because the plant don't got a life. That plant living just like that goddamn cow. When you pull that motherfucking root up, it's the same as cutting that goddamn cow throat. I don't eat beef, but I'm just telling you, you think you go plug them motherfucking sensors up and poke that goddamn plant, that motherfucker screaming. He just don't scream on the frequency and pitch that you used to hearing. When you chopping them motherfucking cilantro up to put in your salad, that cilantro leaf is screaming, but you can't hear it because the pitch and tone in which he's using to scream is below your auditory perception. So you can't hear him, but it don't mean he ain't screaming. So you say if it don't got a face, a flower has a face. We call it the flower. That's the face of the plant, the flower. And the flower doesn't show until the plant's strong enough to hold the face up. In other words, you don't stand up till you're strong enough to stand on your feet. Look, they told us the lion was the king of the jungle. He's an opportunist, bitch-ass nigga, reject pimp. The lioness is the king of the jungle. She know how to cooperate and work in common unity with her sisters and to formulate a whole strategy to bring down the food to feed the babies. And the only thing she need his big dusty ass for is to make more babies and come grab this motherfucker. He too big. It's 5 of us. You need to come over here and get your lazy ass up and laying in the sun for 12 hours. Come on over here and help us get this goddamn wildebeest down, you big, sorry, slimy piece of shit. Unlike the gorilla, you go fuck with one of them babies and watch what the gorilla do. The gorilla gonna lead them. This is where we gonna eat at, cause this where the food good. This where we gonna drink at, cause this where the water good. I'm taking my wife and all my children right along with me up this motherfucking success ladder. And the lion only care about himself. Selfish, self-centered, entitled ass motherfucker. That's why I sick a pack of hyenas on his ass, cause he can't beat him by himself. With them, if the women don't come, if the lionesses don't come, and that pack of hyenas attack his ass, just cause he might get a couple of them, they'll get his big ass. So I think we became culturally addicted to being misinformed about who he is. And now we like junkies detoxing from the fix of disillusionment of self. And now we want our drugs back. I want to go back to being black and proud. I want to go back to being African American. I want to go back to being a Negro. But you can't say it consciously because you don't even realize that you programmed to think that way. Right? So how do you frame it? Man, I wish I was back in the 60s when they was really about it. I don't. I don't want no motherfucker sicking no dogs on me. I'd have came with a whole pack of pit bulls for them German Shepherds. And I'd have came with a whole pack of niggas with billy clubs and motherfucking four-legged dog on people. That would have been the wrong era for me. I'm glad I was born at the end of that shit, because the way that I'm wired, I'm not that we shall overcome kumbaya. I'm not the one to sing Negro spirituals with you in the church. I'm the wrong one for that. That's not my lane. I know it's not my lane. I'll be out in the woods on the lakefront listening to some soft rock and some R&B and some rap, but I'm not finna be in the church. I might come listen to some gospel, but I'm not finna be in there listening to this motherfucker standing up here lying to me all goddamn day for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours out the day, then come back and do it all again in the evening. I ain't with that bullshit. Anybody tell you they came in the name of God, they the first ones you need to be suspicious. They the first ones you need to be suspicious of, because they use this God shit just like they use love in order to deceive motherfucker. I love you so much. Man, I can't stand that bitch. I just had to tell her that's just a check coming up on the first. Sorry ass motherfuckers. And we don't see it. It's in our face. I did a whole video on YouTube, on Facebook. The name of the video is "The Conscious Community is the Problem Now." Them niggas is worse than the other niggas. I think we got a relay going on to see which one of the diet woke ass niggas can be the worst, foulest, wretchedest motherfucker in real life. And then they can put this image out there to be squeaky clean. Ain't none of us squeaky clean, including me. Ain't no motherfucker squeaky clean. You find a motherfucker squeaky clean, you better put that motherfucker in the glass display, because he ain't real. Everybody done did some shit. That's why you got to do shadow work. Everybody done did some shit they got to pay for. I done paid for all my shit. I done paid over multiple of the shit that I did, because 90% of the shit I did, I was justified to begin with in the first place. Lead with love, a massive throat punch. Fuck around and find out if you want to. Right? I ain't friendly, but I'm not disrespectful. Right? It's a difference. I ain't friendly, but I'm not disrespectful. If I disrespect somebody, I want all of the smoke that come with disrespecting that person, because that's why I'm doing it. I don't, and if they disrespected me first, my disrespect is going to be multiplied by 10 to the disrespect they gave me. And I'm not going to tongue wrestle with these motherfuckers, because that's not my lane. That's why I don't do debates. I'm not finna be, what the fuck I look like arguing another motherfucker's opinion? I'm standing on another motherfucker's belief system that might not even be the motherfucker I believe in. How must I make that shit make sense? Oh, these are the sources that you need in order to be accepted in academia. They don't accept Dr. Sue's artwork because they say she didn't follow the line of scholars that she's supposed to follow in order to put her work in the public domain. Fuck you. Right? We got Muwada Ashby. The closest thing out here right now to Malachi Z. York putting out books is Muwada Ashby. He had one of the young brothers with the Journey Home group in the Marcus Project. He was putting out some good material, but I don't know what happened to them, the Journey Home group. But being consistent and coming from that ancient Kemetic teachings, the old Heka, Muwada Ashby is the closest thing you're going to get to Malachi York right now. And terms of quality and volume of material. Nobody else is putting stuff out that regular. Yeah, Dr. Susan ain't for no games. That girl the truth. Right? But you used a method of study, but you don't study what they tell you. You study what you choose to study. Let the spirit guide you to what to study. And that's how you're going to be guided to see around their bullshit. You just need to learn their methodology. Right? You could use the Socratic method or the scientific method in order to derive your conclusions, but you don't never go to where they tell you. You go to where they told you not to go. When I first realized that, the first thing I did was like, I'm finna start studying witchcraft. I'm finna start studying voodoo, Satanism, the Bible, the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey. Man, got some of the realest shit you ever want to read in it. As far as taking your power back, they got some of the realest shit that you ever want to read in it. The reason why they use that Satan shit is so that people like that grew up with our background, that's firmly fixed in that church bullshit, we won't never go get them keys to get free. You put Satan on it or devil on it or Lucifer on it, and they don't even know what none of that shit mean in English. And then they don't know what it means in the language it came from. Right? The demons is just activated codons in your DNA. That's the whole gospel of the book of Solomon about, what they call the wisdom of Solomon. And he was asking them what angel restricts you, right? And the angel being the angle of light that restricts the codon on the DNA. I told you, the ancestors use persons, place, or things to teach you concepts, philosophies, and ideas. When you get out of the person, place, or thing trap, then you get to see the concept, the idea, and the rollout of how they was giving you information in these stories. Because they know motherfuckers going to try to change or alter the story, but then it's going to make the science be flawed. And then the science be flawed, they can't never get out of the box until they put the pieces back the way they're supposed to go. It's designed that way. All that shit is ancient shit that they use to teach us, and that's just how we learn. When you know how you learn, then you study according to your learning process. Right? Yep. Right. And all of them, they all homonyms. They sound alike, but they all mean something different. Yeah, look, I went to hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria. I went to the different Loas and the Orishas. I started studying all that shit. I was like, why they don't want us to look over here? Why you tell me not to look over here? Now I'm going to use your scientific method to go study this shit. Hermetics. I'm going to study all the shit you told me don't study. Aleister Crowley. I'm going to study all the shit you said don't study. Franz Bardon. Harold Percival. Madame Blavatsky. Rudolf Steiner. I'm studying all these motherfuckers. You said don't study them. You said that they some crazy lunatics and they don't know what they talking about. But when I use your scientific method to study them, something changes in the paradigm that you telling me, and now I got to see why this happens. So let me do it again. Send me some more people that I'm not supposed to study so that I can study them, like Rasputin, like Dr. John D., who put us in this conundrum. I see all these warlocks moving about doing some funny shit. Yep, Santa Paulo, Ruba, yep, Dogon, the Medu Netzer. The people don't understand, like the Medu Netter it's a very uniquely written piece of work. It got a lot of stuff in there that we needed. And the hieroglyphic adjustments was when I say they had to put the piece back to correct That's what he doing in the metal netter. He putting the piece back where it's supposed to be. Now you can see the information the way you're supposed to see it. All of this stuff, they say, look, Albert Churchward and Gerald Massey is the founding fathers of Egyptology, and neither one of them is recognized in academia anymore. How in the hell? They the founding fathers of Egyptology, but you can't use them in references to your Egyptian studies. That's some strange stuff. You mean I discovered air components that make up air, and now you telling motherfuckers I'm not allowed to breathe? Come on, man. Y'all got to be crazy. Look, read the works of Joel A. Rogers, right? Especially Superman the Man. One of my I want to make that into a movie. Superman the Man, I want to make into a movie. It's another one. Ambitious Violet by Khalil Gibran. I want to make it to. I want to make it like movie shorts. Ambitious Violet. John the Madman. That's a full length movie. John the Madman to be a full length movie. It's chaos magic, drawing from so many different places simultaneously, using the unified field theory to converge upon a center. That's standing on pi. That's 3.14. Right? And you standing on the center, but you got to make the circumference of the circle. That's 360. As above, so below for the 720. Off the left hand and the right hand makes the 1440. Right? So now